Hello, I'm Ahi Obyasu Khan, and I'm the chairwoman of the board of Women in Toys, Licensing, and Entertainment. Welcome to our continuing Amazon education series. At WIT, we're constantly striving to give our members the tools and knowledge they need to succeed and thrive. We're excited to bring this education series to our members in collaboration with Amazon that promises to be a game changer for small business owners. Today, I'm happy to welcome Abby Malko, a small business partnerships and education at Amazon. We'll be covering the basics of selling in the Amazon store, including starting out as a seller, fulfilling orders, marketing, and expanding internationally, as well as the support Amazon offers to small and women-owned businesses to succeed. Hi, Abby. Please introduce yourself to our listeners.
Sure thing. And thank you so much for having me today. This is one of my favorite topics. I've been talking about it for over 5 years at Amazon, so it's really truly a fun topic for me. So just to give the audience a little bit of context, I've been at Amazon just over 5 years. I've been working with sellers and entrepreneurs my entire time at the company in various capacities, which is pretty unique for someone at Amazon to do that. Very passionate about providing education and helping the small business community. So what my team does is we work with different partners, primarily nonprofit organizations, to provide educational opportunities to small businesses and entrepreneurs who are not yet selling an Amazon store to basically give them the information and the resources they need to get started. And then prior to Amazon, I worked at Intel Corporation, and I'm a retired U.S. Navy chief and combat veteran. So I spent over 20 years in the military. And because of that, one of the key communities that I always like to focus on, in addition to women owned small businesses, is veteran owned small businesses. So that's very much a key focus for me.
Thank you so much for that. And what an interesting and broad career you've had. Being able to specialize with small business owners and entrepreneurs at a huge company like Amazon, one wouldn't necessarily think they go together. That leads me to the first question. So, can you discuss the benefit of selling an Amazon store and then how to get started?
Yes, sure thing. So a lot of people may realize that Amazon, when you do sell an Amazon store, it gives you access to hundreds of millions of customers. So it really gives you the opportunity to grow and scale as a small business, which is very, very important. A lot of people don't realize either that over 60% of global sales in Amazon store come from independent sellers. And most of those independent sellers are all small and medium-sized businesses. So most of the time when you're making a purchase on Amazon, you're likely purchasing from a small or medium-sized business. As you're considering getting started to sell in the store, I talk about this so much during my time at Amazon. There's a lot of people who think that they want to start right away selling in the store. And I can't emphasize enough that timing is crucial to your success. And we'll talk a little bit more about that when we discuss trademarking, which is probably one of my favorite topics ever. Because not everyone is ready to sell in the store. And what do I mean by that? I mean that you do need to have your supply chain established. That is crucial to your success. Very easy to sell once you want to get started. We do have two selling plans. The individual selling plan, which is 99 cents a sale. And then we have the professional selling plan, which is $39.99 a month. And a lot of people ask me, well, what difference does it make in my selling plan? I always give you the people the guidance that if you're only going to sell maybe less than 40 items a month, definitely start off with the individual selling plan. If you're likely going to be selling more than 40 items a month, definitely select the professional plan. And it's very important to keep in mind too that you can switch plans at any time. So it's very easy to set up your account from there, but just keep in mind that there are two different selling plans. So when you get started, it's important to decide which one is best for you.
Thank you for that. That was a really fulsome answer. And I think it relates to my next question. What is the difference between Amazon Business and Amazon.com? I'm a
Yes,
little bit from Amazon.com, and I actually really enjoy the small business filter. I'm always very happy when that logo pops up, and I'm like, yes, I'll click on that. So that's on the consumer side. But if you can go into the difference between those two, thank you.
sure thing. Let's say you're selling your product directly to another business. Your customer is another business. You would be a perfect candidate for Amazon Business. And keep in mind too, when people are shopping on Amazon Business, they're purchasing on behalf of their own business. For example, we have a great partnership with the Chicago Public Schools, where Chicago Public Schools purchases through Amazon Business um, on behalf of all of their schools in the Chicagoland area. So it's usually you can do two things on Amazon Business. You can purchase on behalf of your business, and it also allows you to filter products based on women owned, disabled owned, veteran owned, minority owned to meet your supplier diversity spend criteria. Whereas the difference with Amazon.com is you're selling direct to consumer. So it's important to keep that in mind. So Amazon Business, you're selling to another business or you're purchasing on behalf of your business. Amazon.com is you're selling direct to consumer. I will say with Amazon Business, once you create your product page on Amazon Business, that product page is visible on both the business site as well as Amazon.com. So you don't need to recreate the wheel there. It's going to be visible on both sites.
Thank you. I was going to be ask about that. If that's an extra step you have to do, but that makes complete and total sense. That's actually how it operates in real life. You just
Mhm.
approach as a merchant or approach as a consumer. Going back to your first answer, now what are the key things to consider when you're starting out selling an Amazon store?
Yes. Oh, I could talk about this for days.
Please go ahead.
I have so many stories over the years. One of my favorite stories that I like to share is I worked with a military spouse entrepreneur when I first joined the company, who was on Shark Tank. And we can also discuss this when we discuss trademarking, but she had a really bad experience selling on Amazon because when she didn't trademark herself first before selling in the store. So when her episode of Shark Tank aired and they did fund her as a business, it went kind of viral. And then people started duplicating and selling her product under the exact same name. And there was nothing that Amazon could do to stop it because she wasn't trademarked. So it's very important. And I know trademark is the reason why that's one of my favorite topics to talk about is I've worked with thousands of small businesses during my time at Amazon, and the majority of the small businesses, they don't even realize that they need to trademark. They don't understand that it's crucial to protecting their intellectual property. Many people just want to immediately just start selling on Amazon. It's a kind of like a get rich quick thing, but it's not going to be that for everybody, right? It does take a little trial and error to get to the right what works for you, what works for your business. So before you start selling an Amazon store, I definitely you want to make sure that your product is easy to package and ship. For example, I worked with a small business, this is pretty funny, who sold bathtubs on Amazon, and that's not a good product for Amazon. It's really large, it's really bulky, it's more of a product for like a Home Depot or a Lowe's, right? So you want a product that's like easy to package and ship. You want to make sure that the product has branding potential. That's really important. You do want to make sure that your product is affordable. Think about what you're shopping for on Amazon as an example. Most of the time you're probably not purchasing things over 500 or $1,000. So you do want something that's going to be affordable to the customer. What's even more important is knowing who your target audience is and knowing how to market to that target audience.
Great. Thank you for that. That was, again, a very helpful response, particularly your point about trademarking and intellectual property. So it sounds like you don't need a trademark to sell on Amazon, but it's probably a good idea to have some kind of protection. And I also just want people to think about the incentives here. If it's popular enough to get attention and go viral, and it's something that can ship really easily and it can be produced relatively simply, someone else is going to want that idea too. So it's really in your interest. Trademark especially is one of the more powerful IP tools you have in your arsenal as a small business owner. Just want to emphasize that for folks. Just jumping ahead, how does a small business fulfill orders on Amazon once they've gotten started?
Before we go to that question, can we talk about how Amazon protects trademarks in the store? Because
Oh, of
I do
course,
think
yes.
that's important, and I love that you're a lawyer by trade because every time I talk to a lawyer, you completely understand this. So you're right, a trademark's not required to sell in the store, but however, what we do recommend is when you start creating your account, make sure that you enroll in a brand registry. Amazon has a brand registry program. It is a free service that Amazon provides. You do need an active trademark to enroll in brand registry. And what that program does, it basically prevents counterfeits to your product. And it allows you to also create a brand store. And a brand store is really another great way to market your who you are as a brand, who you are as a company. And it's kind of like this all-in-one shopping destination on Amazon that you can also advertise. So it does allow you to create your brand store, and it gives you that protection so to prevent counterfeit. So definitely enroll in brand registry. And then all of the small businesses I talk to, most times, I would say like 70% of the time, they don't yet have a trademark, and they seem a little bit overwhelmed on how to get that trademark. So Amazon does have an IP accelerator program. This is a great program, by the way. If it's literally all pre-negotiated rates with vetted firms that Amazon works with. So, for example, to just file for your trademark through our program, it's $700 flat rate. So Amazon does pre-negotiate those costs for you, and it's very important to make sure that one of the key benefits I will say about the IP Accelerator is you just have to have a pending trademark if you use that program to then get the same benefits of brand registry. So you don't have to wait for the trademark to be active. So it allows you to sell in the store a little bit sooner and get that same brand protection that you would get with an active trademark. So just keep in mind those two programs. They're super helpful to your success and preventing counterfeits.
Oh, wow, that's an incredible resource. What a great tool. That because part of it's not just the logistics of filing for a trademark and getting acquainted with the paperwork and the file. Like, I'm an attorney. I'll still confer with somebody else. That's always the best thing to do. But making that accessible for a small business owner that's pouring all of their capital into producing their product in the first place, and then it's just this extra legal matter can sometimes seem so intimidating and such an extra headache. So that's wonderful that Amazon's able to do that for people. Just going back to the earlier question about then fulfilling an order. So now you've enrolled for protection, you've enrolled for the accelerator program, you've got your product. So what are the next steps? How do you fulfill your order on Amazon?
Yes. There's three different ways you can fulfill on Amazon. The first way you can fulfill is doing it yourself. That we call that fulfillment by merchant, where you're working with someone like UPS or the Postal Service, and you're doing the pick, packing, and the shipping of the orders, and all of that is done yourself. Now, keep in mind that when you do fulfillment by merchant, you're not going to have the Prime badge on your product page, which is one of the most compelling reasons to enroll in fulfillment by Amazon. So again, I always go back to the point of thinking in the customer mindset. Think about how you shop on Amazon. You likely do want that 1 to 2 day shipping guarantee that Amazon provides when you're a Prime member, right? So fulfillment by Amazon is our service that we provide, where they basically do all the pick, packing, and shipping for you. The only thing you do is you ship your product to Amazon's fulfillment center, and from there, Amazon does everything else. So they're going to pick, pack, and ship. They're also going to provide customer service and handle all of your returns. Now, this is super great benefit, especially if you're looking to scale. And because you don't, for example, I work with a lot of sellers who have clothing items, and clothing items typically have a very high return rate. So when Amazon is able to handle all of those returns for you, it takes that burden off you, and you can focus your business on other things. So just keep that in mind. A lot of people, and that's what gives you the Prime badge as well on your product page. So a lot of people are very skeptical of the cost of FBA, and I don't blame you. But again, we see that it's typically 70% more competitive. We also see that when you adopt FBA, there's typically a 20 to 25% increase on average in revenue. However, you don't have to believe me, because why would you believe me? I always tell people about the FBA revenue calculator. You can just Google FBA revenue calculator. It's a very detailed tool that Amazon provides, where you can do a cost comparison between what it's like to fulfill products yourself, the cost of doing it yourself versus the cost of Amazon doing it. And again, it's very detailed. You'll enter product dimensions, price points, and it's going to give you that good cost comparison. And then there's a third way to fulfill: seller fulfilled Prime. Seller fulfilled Prime is kind of exactly like what it sounds. So you're fulfilling the product yourself, but you're getting the Prime badge. So it's kind of like the best of both worlds. So this is only domestic here in the US right now. I do want to call that out. But you do still get the 1 to 2 day delivery to your customers. But I will call out too that there is a 30-day trial period for this program because Amazon wants to see you be able to ship your orders 99% on time. Because again, you still have to be able to deliver those packages within the 1 to 2 day window. But after you successfully pass the trial period, you're automatically enrolled into the program. But it is another great way to fulfill your products without having to maybe rely solely on FBA. And I will call out my pot pie example. I worked with a small business who sells pot pies, like frozen pot pies. And like I mentioned earlier, you can't sell frozen products on Amazon. So she fulfills the product herself, but she would be a great candidate for Seller Fulfilled Prime because she's able to deliver in 1 to 2 days. She can still get the Prime badge. She has a very robust network that she uses to fulfill her orders. And she's a good candidate for something like Seller Fulfilled Prime. So keep that in mind. It is a little dependent, your success in that program, on the type of product you're selling as well.
And I imagine the cost benefit analysis for self-fulfilled prime versus FBA, when it's up to you. In her case, she can't do it if she's not doing it on her own. But if you sell something like a consumer product or any other non-perishable, that it's a decision you'd have to make. Is there a big difference in sign-up costs between either program or?
Um, well, when you say either program, do you mean like Fulfillment by Amazon
Yeah, yeah. Or
yeah.
seller fulfilled prime versus FBA.
Yeah, so Seller Fulfilled Prime, again, you're using a third party to do that for you. So the costs are really dependent on what the third party is going to charge you. Now with FBA, there's really no sign-up cost. Where you incur costs is through shipping it to the fulfillment center. You'll pay costs for storage and things like that. So I just want to make sure that that's a little clearer as well. But there is no fee to enroll. It's just a matter of the various fees you incur when you're enrolled in the program.
Makes a lot of sense. So how does a small business how does a small business show up in an Amazon search, and then how do they get discovered?
Yeah, I love talking about advertising and discoverability because in addition to the trademarking being the hot topic I often get, it's always, well, what do I do to get on the first page of search results? And that's always the $1,000,000 question. How do I get on the first page of search results? So we have a couple of things that we do where we promote small businesses within our store. We kind of mentioned the small business search filter earlier. We just launched that this last Prime Day, so it's fairly recent. But how the search filter works is, let's say you just type in body lotion into the search bar on Amazon. You go to the left side of the menu, and under business type, you select small business. And from there, all of the search results that populate for body lotion are going to be body lotion from small businesses. So it's a really great way to find small businesses. We also have the small business badge. The small business badge is visible on people's product pages. So let's say you type in body lotion again, you'll see the badge in the search results. And from there, you'll know that that's a small business. And we always follow the Gartner definition of what a small business is. We also have our support small landing page. This is one of my favorite. I'm a little partial to it. One of my favorite features on Amazon.com is literally just Amazon.com/support small. You go on that page and there's basically a storefront for military-owned small businesses. There's a storefront for women-owned. There's a storefront for Black-owned. And it's just a great way to discover products from those communities while also being able to discover products from geographic communities. For example, you can discover small products from, the Pacific Northwest or the East Coast, and you can even make it a little bit more specific than that. The reason why I'm partial to it is because it never used to exist. And I know I'm dating myself here, but and I was one of the I also helped create our military family small business storefront as well. And the reason why I say it never existed is because at the time we didn't have any way to identify sellers in our store who were veteran owned, as an example. So we had to work with other nonprofits to be able to identify them for us. But we've made so much progress over the years. And speaking of that, you can also add your diversity certification to your Seller Central account to help us know that you do have that diversity certification.
Fantastic. Sounds like I really like the geographical targeting too.
Mhm.
That's something that I would never have guessed as possible, but it's something you could do through Amazon. So that's pretty neat. So what are other ways small businesses can market their products to be successful in the Amazon store?
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about
Yes,
advertising.
let's talk about advertising.
Yeah, advertising. We get so many questions on advertising, and there's three different ways you can advertise in Amazon store. The first is you can sponsor your product. Anyone can do that. It's the most popular way to advertise in our store. And with sponsored product, it is, again, it's cost per click. So you just pay for what people click on, and then you set your own daily budget and how much you want to pay and the duration of the campaign. And it's keyword targeted. So we'll go back to my body lotion example. You're going to set a bid for whatever you want to pay for that keyword, body lotion or lotion, right? And that is the most popular way to advertise. The second most popular is sponsored brand. That goes back to my earlier point about creating a brand store. So when you type in, and I'm going to keep defaulting to the same product here in the interest of simplicity, when you type in body lotion, the very first thing that's going to populate on the search page or the result page is a sponsored brand. And a sponsored brand is like kind of like a banner ad right at the top of the page, and it basically showcases your brand store. And what's really cool about sponsoring your brand is you can use different taglines, you can add videos, you can showcase different products, but it has to be the same similar product. So let's say you sell three different types of body lotion. You can showcase those three different types of body lotion in just one ad. And after you see sponsored brand in the search results, right below that is when you'll see all of the sponsored products. So that's the second way to advertise. The third way to advertise is sponsored display. This is not keyword specific. This is more unique where it's going to target customer shopping behavior. So let's say that I'm scrolling on Facebook or I've scrolled on Amazon. You know, the internet seems to know everything these days. They already know that I want to buy body lotion. So they'll suggest different types of body lotion for me. So with sponsored display, you can do advertising both on Amazon as well as off Amazon, for example. But the off Amazon has to be through an Amazon site like Twitch or something like that. So those are the three ways you can advertise. Another way to help you get discovered, help increase your conversion is offering coupons and discounts. To me, I can be a little cheap here. I will more likely buy a product if there's a coupon or a discount. So that's another great way to help increase your conversion. And then just keep in mind product reviews as well. Most times, I think the data is 78% of people who shop on Amazon, they're brand agnostic. So they're looking for the product first, not the brand. So it's very important to have product reviews because that is what helps build up your reputation to convince people to buy your product, right? In fact, the first product review you get will increase your sales about 3.5 times on average. So we do have a program called Amazon Vine that is specific to brand owners. You do have to be a brand owner, and there is specific eligibility criteria for that program. But with the Vine program, that will guarantee you up to 30 product reviews if you can enroll in that.
Can you discuss how a small business expands outside of the US in Amazon store?
Yes, we often get this question as well. One thing I failed to call out is like, let's say you enroll in the professional selling plan, which is the $39.99 a month plan. Through that plan, you can sell within US, Canada, and Mexico. So it is a great plan to start off with if you're looking to scale to those geographies first. So I would recommend you check out Amazon's global selling page. That is going to give you everything you need to know about the tax requirements for those countries, because it's going to vary from country to country, the different tax and legal requirements. For example, let's say you want to sell your product in the UK. You will likely need to get a trademark for that product in the UK to sell it in that country, right? So there are going to be certain implications for selling in other geographies, but we do make it very easy with our professional selling plan by selling in US, Canada, and Mexico.
Related to supporting sort of smaller initiatives, how is Amazon supporting women-owned small businesses? And I think we're going into Women's History Month, so I think it's a timely question.
Oh yes, that's true. I'm very passionate about the women-owned small business community because I myself am a woman. While I'm also passionate about the veteran and disabled community because I'm also a veteran. I'm also disabled. So we have the women-owned storefront on Support Small. So if you go to the Support Small page, we do have a women-owned storefront there. We always have a campaign every March too, as well for IW Internet. I'll just spell it out. International Women's Day. So to your point on March being the month where we celebrate women, we're always going to do an on-site on Amazon campaign to celebrate that month and to celebrate women-owned small businesses, which definitely is a huge revenue and growth driver if you're featured in those campaigns. That kind of goes back to my earlier point about the importance of certification. So if you are a woman-owned small business and you're selling an Amazon store, but you haven't uploaded your diversity certification, please do so because that's how we can identify you to feature in these types of storefronts and these types of campaigns. And then as I mentioned, I manage our small business partnerships and education team. And one of the partners we worked with is Ladies Who Launch. They are a nonprofit where they're really focused on providing access to capital. So through our partnership, we funded various grants for women-owned small businesses. And they're also very focused on providing educational and networking opportunities. And then this year, as we go into this year, I'm also looking to work with additional partners as well who support women-owned small businesses too. So if you're a member of any of those organizations and you want to attend a future training, definitely keep that in mind as well.
Yeah, fantastic. So many resources, so many connections to organizations that are doing this work. Sounds like you're in great hands if you're moving in this direction with Amazon. My next question is just to sort of asking about the specific resources that are available to, to people who are selling on your platform. But I feel like we've answered that many times throughout our conversation. If you could give a brief sort of top 5 places to look, you're a small business owner, maybe you're certified, maybe you're not, but just sort of generally the, top 5 things that you can offer small businesses, that would be great.
Yeah, because Amazon is so big, we do have quite a number of resources, and oftentimes I hear from our audiences, from our customers, that it can get really confusing.
Mhm.
Um, so I'll simplify it here. If you're an Amazon seller, if you're already selling in the store and you're having difficulty selling in the store and you want to learn more about selling in the store, Seller University is the best resource, the best educational resource that you can leverage. They have webinars within Seller Central. You can just sign up for them that are topic focused. So let's say they'll do, for example, a webinar series on FBA. It'll be beginner, intermediate, and advanced. And my team and I, we attend those webinars as well. And how those webinars work is, they'll spend like 15 minutes discussing the topic, but then they'll leave the rest of the time for Q&A. So it's a really great way to get questions asked from a program expert in that area. So just remember that Seller University is a great resource if you're already selling it on Amazon. And Seller University also does have a YouTube channel that anyone can access, which you just go to YouTube, type in Amazon Seller University, and those are all topic based as well. So please keep that in mind too if you're looking for more information on selling an Amazon store. Another great resource we have is the Amazon Small Business Academy. We recently relaunched this maybe a little over a year ago. This is smallbusiness.amazon. So just go to smallbusiness.amazon and everything you can see is on that site. But this is just a free educational resource for any small business. It is designed to be more general education. So for example, if you're interested in learning more about trademarking, as an example, or creating a business plan, this is really the educational resource for you. It's not specific to selling an Amazon store, so I do want to call that out. That's where my team and Seller University come in. And then we also have our Black Business Accelerator program. I do want to make the audience aware of our Black Business Accelerator program. So if you're a certified Black-owned business who is product-based, you would be a great candidate for this program. And this is really designed to give Black-owned product-based businesses mentorship and marketing support and things of that nature to help really enable their success selling in our store. And you can find more information about that program on sell.amazon.com. So those would be my top 3 resources that I would share.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you so much. This is just, it's, ask and you shall receive, talk about that in a nutshell. But there's just so much out there if you're willing to get started and get working. And sometimes you just need someone to lay it out for you and help put you in the right direction. So thanks a lot. This was so educational and so helpful for all our listeners. It's been a pleasure.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much for having me. Really appreciate it.
Of course.